Hello guys, and welcome to another video. In this video we are going to design an Android applications. This is a random quote Android application that displays a random quote from different authors, and so this is a very basic application. The functionality pretty much consists of a forward button. If we press the forward button, we get a random quote. We can select a quote favorite by pressing on the heart icon at the top. Notice how it changes to red. We can get a new quote. We can go back and recall previous quotes, and we can also share the quote on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and so that's basically the app. It's not very complicated. So let's get started with the designing and coding the app. So I'm going to go back into Android Studio. That is the IDE that I'm going to be using for designing the application. And I'm going to click on File. I'm going to start a new project. I'm going to click on New. I'm going to select New Project. And I'm going to place my project on Android, I believe it's Android projects. Let me see. Android Studio projects. And I'm going to name my application Daily Quotes. And I'm going to click Next. For the minimum SDK, I'm going to select, yes, I'm going to leave it as 4.1, which is Jelly Bean. The further back you go into the SDK means that more phones will you be able to support, but at the same time you're going to have to implement support for those phones in order to maintain your app. So I'm going to click Next. And I'm going to select the default, which is an empty activity, and I'm going to click Next. I'm going to click Finish. I'm going to leave the activity name to main activity and click Finish. Alright, so the project open, and the first thing that I'm going to do, I have a resource folder with all the things that I need for my application. As you can see, I have some icons here. I have some quotes that I've already included in this text file, and also a background wallpaper. So I'm going to start by importing all my icons. They all are PNG. This is not the only way to generate icons for your navigations. There are many ways to do this. So I'm going to click on copy, and I'm going to head over to the under the rest directory. There is a bitmap folder, and I'm going to click on this folder and right click on it, and I'm going to click paste. And I'm going to select OK. I'm going to select OK one more time, and all my icons have been placed here. One thing to notice is that Android Studio does not work well with dash, so you're gonna have to change it to underscore. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to say Refactor Rename, and I'm going to rename my icons. This one is for back button. And this one is for, you get the idea. So I'm going to pause this for a second. Alright, so next I'm going to import my wallpaper. So I'm going to click copy, and this one I want to put it in the drawable folder. So I'm going to click on that one, and I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to click paste. I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to also rename it. So I'm going to Refactor Rename, and I'm going to say Daily Quote, wallpaper using underscore, and finally I'm going to import this quote.txt file, which has some a few quotes. These ones, I believe they are from Friedrich Nietzsche. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to expand the values directory, and I'm looking for the string.xml file. So I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to insert here a string array, and I'm going to name it quotes, or quotes. And in here I'm going to paste all my quotes, and I want to create another string array, and this one I'm going to name it authors. And the reason that because I'm separating the two is because I eventually want to keep adding quotes from different authors, and here I want to create a list of all the authors corresponding to this quote. So eventually I need to import these string arrays into my application. So I'm going to say item Nietzsche, I believe it's Nietzsche. I believe that's the correct way to do it, but let's say that you want to add another quotes here from another author, and you would add the second author here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to add some more quotes. So I'm going to add this batch of quotes from Ayn Rand, and I'm going to put them right here. I'm going to make a comment. It says Ayn Rand, and I'm going to place him here, and I'm going to put a comment here that says Nietzsche, and I'm going to add another author here, and that is not time, it's actually item. I got a typo here. There we go. And I'm going to say Ayn Rand. And so that is for my for inserting the quotes. I chose to create two different strings arrays, one for the quotes and one for the authors. So I'm going to go back into my, actually I need to go back into the layouts folder, which is also under the rest directory, and I'm going to double click on the activity main.xml, and this is where my what the layout of my activity is going to be. So I'm going to start dropping things into my preview pane. So I'm going to expand the palette, and I'm going to, another thing that I wanted to do, I'm not going to delete this hello world. This is where my code is going to be. So I'm going to create an ID for this one, and I'm going to name it quote text view, and it should be ID. There we go. And I'm going to make it, I'm going to delete the action bar. So I want to get more real estate in my application. So I'm going to go back into, by the way, I had mistyped this ID property, so I fixed it. So I want to go back into the strings, actually the style.xml, and but it says .action bar. I want to remove this, and if I place a dot, I get the no action bar option. So I'm going to select that one, and if I go back into the activity main.xml, notice now that I don't have an action bar. So I'm going to add my background. So at the top property, I'm going to add a background element, and I'm going to say this one is inside the drawables directory, so I'm going to say add drawable. And again, notice how the dash, Android Studio doesn't work well with the dash, so I'm going to, actually it's not Android wallpaper, it's daily codes. I have renamed it wallpaper, and that should do it. And notice now that I have the Android toolbar. It's kind of blue, so I want to change that to dark, to black. So I'm going to go into my colors XML file, and here where it says primary color primary dark, I'm going to change this one to, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to place it here, and I'm going to change it to black, and I'm going to comment this one out so I don't lose this color in case that I need to revert back. So if I go back now into my XML activity underscore main XML file, the toolbar should be black. So now I'm going to add some more items into my application. So I need three navigation buttons here at the bottom of the app. So I'm going to click on images, and I'm going to add an image view, and when this resource dialog box shows, I'm going to click on the forward image, and I'm going to click OK. I am going to add another one, and I believe, okay, here we go. And for this one, I'm going to select the back or previous button. And I also need two more here. And this one is for the share button. And I need another one for the favorite button. And so next I'm going to start positioning this in the application. So I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to bring it here using constraints, and here, and I'm going to do the same for this one. And I'm going to do the same for this. Alright, so let's put a dummy quote here to see what we got so far in the application. And I need to, by the way, I need to change the ID of all these elements. So if you want to go to a specific element, just right click on it and go to XML, and I'm going to select, I'm going to name this one share button, and I'm going to name this one favorite, actually fave button off, because we have a fade button off and we also have a fade button on, which is the heart with color red, and we have the heart with color white for off. And so next I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to change it to previous button, and for this one I'm going to change it to next underscore button, and I'm going to add a quote here. I'm going to get it from the strings.xml file, and I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to copy it, I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to remove the item, try to make that one. And so let's see what we got so far. So I'm going to, notice that I place it here at the top, so I'm going to drag it. If you want to center something, you just click on the handles. If you click on the handle at the top and at the bottom, it'll center on the middle of the page. And the same goes with horizontal centering something in the activity. So next I need to change the color of the text. So I'm going to add a color or a text color property, and I'm going to select white. Actually, yeah, and I want to also increase the text size of the page of the text, so I'm going to select something like, let's say 20 dp, and so I want to give it a little bit of margin. This is way too close to the edges, so I'm going to say layout margin, and actually instead of margin I think I'm going to go with padding. So I'm going to say padding, let's say padding left, and I'm going to give it 10 dp, and let's do 15 dp, and I'm going to do the same thing for padding right, and that looks a little bit more center, and I'm going to change this to 18. Yeah. What I want to do, I want to select the handles and select the parent element, and then position the back button, and do the same thing with the other one. I'm going to, so what I want to do, I want to go into the styles .xml file, and I'm going to create a new style. This one, it's going to be for the navigations buttons at the bottom of the application. I'm going to call it nav buttons, and I'm going to say button, and I'm going to add 2 items here. One is going to be for let's see, one is going to be for layout width, and the other one is going to be for layout height. The thing is that instead of applying a specific style to every individual item, we can set a rule in the styles.xml file and then apply the style to all the buttons at the same time. So that's what we're doing. So I'm going to say layout width and layout height, and I'm going to set this one to, let's say, 50 dp, and I'm going to copy this, and instead of layout width I'm going to say layout height, and I'm going to create another style, and this one I'm going to call nav buttons top, and I'm going to also add these 2 elements, and instead of 50 these 2 are going to be 30 dp. And so what I have to do now, I have to apply this element. So I'm going to go to the first element, and I'm going to delete this 2 property, and I'm going to say style, and I'm going to say style / nav buttons button, and actually this one is top. Okay, so I'm going to do the same for the next element. I'm going to delete these 2 and add the style property, and this one is nav buttons top, and you get the idea. I'm going to do the same thing for all the buttons. I'm going to make these 2 a little bit closer, and let's go ahead and test the application. So I'm going to stop it and run it again, select the device, and this time it looks a lot better. And so that's it for the designing of the application. The next step is going to be to add the functionality for the app. So see you in the next video.